हर दिन हम जैसे 100 करोड़ लोग इस ऐप को यूज करते हैं। A billion people use maps every day?
It's 2 billion users a month.
Oh wow.
With the recent feature that we launched in India, Ask Maps, you don't have to go through 8 clicks. You can just say, is there a coffee shop on my route?
I think India was where landmark-based
Absolutely.
mapping was deployed first.
This was the first country where we actually started saying things like, turn after the EB tower.
Yeah.
Or turn after this particular
chalk.
government building.
जैन गली से दाएं मुड़े।
I want to go for a trek during the weekend in and around Bombay.
Let's see what it does for you.
I've always wondered how Ganesh Chaturthi procession routes are known to you. Like, are you talking to Mitra Mandals? Where is this information coming from?
We've actually started working with a lot of city authorities, traffic police authorities. They give us information if there is, let's say, construction or, a blockade on the road or things like that.
How much data of mine is used, not used? How safe are we? हर दिन हम जैसे 100 करोड़ लोग इस ऐप को यूज करते हैं और हम आज बात करेंगे एमडी ऑफ गूगल मैप्स मिरियम डैनियल से। गुड मॉर्निंग मिरियम, वेलकम टू द शो। हाउ आर यू?
Very good, thank you.
Thank you for letting us gate crash the Google office HQ in Delhi or Gurgaon. What are we going to be talking about?
Maps.
Yes?
Yes.
Are you going to be able to let me in on the secrets behind the gullies and voice navigation?
Whatever you'd like to investigate and talk about, we can.
And we're going to learn about women in business, women in leadership, and how a Desi origin woman is leading maps globally.
How I got to be here.
Yes.
Yes.
Let's go.
Okay.
How do you work with the slangs that Mumbaikars may use, let's say?
So we do have to localize these proper names.
Yeah.
Right. So we have to work with both the text localization and the voice localization.
Okay.
And we have to, teach it how to say it and pronounce it the right way. Especially when you're navigating, you can't pronounce it the wrong way.
That's also true.
But just putting something on the map also, and with the recent feature that we launched in India, Ask Maps, we're seeing a lot of voice usage.
That's true.
Right. And people are asking in English.
Yes.
And we actually introduced Hindi as well now this month.
Hey, thank you.
Yes, yes. So we're seeing a lot of voice usage pick up. And it's also one of those things where you don't have to go through 8 clicks to find something. You can just say, where is this train station? Or you can just say, is there a coffee shop on my route? And you don't have to be distracted typing those things in.
Correct.
So it's like people are just saying, I'm at this restaurant. What is the most popular dish here? So you've cut through all of the friction. You're using voice and, we've localized all of those experiences, as you're saying.
So this is Google HQ. When were you here the first time? Did any interviews happen here? I know there's a 5-round interview that happens.
Yes.
They did?
We do come here often. We actually have teams in Bangalore and in Hyderabad.
That's nice.
We do a lot of our data operations out of
Okay.
Hyderabad. We do a lot of our trust and moderation, as well as all the localization of India's features happens in Bangalore.
Perfect. Can you tell us a little about where we are at? Because we're gate crashing the whole Google Plex, as one may call it.
Yeah, I think this is what they call the Google Plex. We have multiple buildings here.
So tell me, how does maps work in, let's say, on a dhaba? Because in a tier 1 city like Delhi or Bombay or Hyderabad or Bangalore or Chennai or Calcutta, it is a very different story. But I want to look at the best dhaba on a highway in Agra.
Okay, actually, you can ask maps. Even if you don't know the name of the place you're trying to go to,
Okay.
you can go into this new feature we've launched called Ask Maps and simply say, what's the nearest Dhabas?
All right. Perfect.
And it'll find it. You can even say, what do people say about it? What will I find there? What's the most popular dish? And it will answer all of those questions for you. Now, how did it get on the map? Either Street View cameras picked it up. We got feeds from people who are running this business and they put it on the map.
Nice.
Like a merchant can actually register a Google business profile. You can be a mom and pop shop that you can register a Google business profile, get yourself on the map. Or a Street View picks it up and we actually put new merchants on the map. And it's like the first online presence.
I realize that you all have also done ONDC partnerships.
That's right.
Like, what do these partnerships involve? And are you then having those conversations? If there is a team that goes and has that conversation, then what is that conversation like? And how much ease of business exists because of such good collaborations?
Well, everything we do in any country is based on the local ecosystem and the partnerships, right?
Yeah.
Whether it is at the national country level, at the regional or the state level, or even at the city level. ONDC was one such partnership. We also work with National Highway Authority of India. We work with like the traffic police in Delhi, in Mumbai, in Bangalore, and so on. And we do a lot of different things. Some of it is just the cities, giving feeds where we can tell whether there's a traffic congestion, there's construction going on, there's a event going on, any such, I would say, disruption.
So just for my knowledge, you can keep talking. I'll go and fire up maps right now. I'm so used to. Okay, so all of these top tabs are integrated through all of that.
Yeah, these
Like
are,
say-
assuming you're still looking for places.
See, my offline maps shows up.
Yeah, great. So you can pick a destination. You can choose to say, I want to take the train or a bus, and you will see all of the, available routes, schedules. We call it kind of like multimodal transit. Google Maps is probably the one application that tells you how to walk to the station, take the right train, or change trains, or when you get off at the other destination, how you get to your final access point.
That's true. The number of times I've got lost in a New York subway, and I've wondered when will that day come around, when we'll be, supremely integrated.
New York is a little more complex. Depending on which way you enter the subway, you could end up going in a different direction too. So we actually had to go and put the right entry point depending on your final destination.
I mean, now that Mumbai at least is getting all the metro networks updated, I wonder if that intel will be used here.
So we actually have a lot of the metros already on the map. And
Really?
you can
Yeah.
actually, working with ONDC, you can actually do metro ticket booking in maps as well.
Wow.
Yeah, and then in addition to metros, we've been working on local trains. Like in Mumbai, we're trying to get the local trains in.
I'd love that. Thank you. All Mumbaikars watching, please let us know in the comments what you want.
Yes, please use
more.
Google Maps for Mumbai local trains.
Like right now, the biggest thing I want to do is check how long Terminal 3 is showing, and that's right there. But there's no advertiser. Oh, that's an advertiser? The one on the square?
Yes, when you see that square pin, that's
Yes.
a sponsored pin.
So they know I like specialty coffee. That is Google having learned my life.
I would say this is more, they're a popular place and they have,
No, that's
You know,
both
based
of them
on that.
coming
Yeah,
through.
yeah.
So are each of these things a different set of teams, like restaurants, petrol, hotels, or is this?
we actually think of it as Google Maps has two missions. How do you explore the world and how you navigate the world,
Nice.
right? Exploring the world could be in anything. You're looking
So
for
that's the
places
larger
to go
team.
to. Yeah, places to go to, things to do. Could be anything from, you could look at restaurants, you could look at coffee shops, even, activities near me. Where can I take my kids this weekend? You can ask Maps that question.
Really? This is superb.
Look at the helpful information. It's giving you weekend weather and logistics, even though you didn't ask for it, because
Yeah.
it knows you're going on the track. And there's these little tips. We call them know before you go kind of
Okay,
tips.
okay.
Things that you must know before you step out.
That's not bad.
More helpful.
Okay, so if you see photos of my team on a trek, then know that this is where it originated from. Let's go to the next place.
Thank you.
There is a time in life that we remember. आप लोगों को याद हो तो बताना जितने लोग देख रहे हैं, जहाँ एक व्यक्ति आपको एक ड्राइंग बना के देते थे, where they would be like, this is how you exit the city and then take the highway. Once you get to the highway, just keep looking at the signs and you'll be good. Do you remember a time like that? Before Google Maps existed.
I do remember a time before Google Maps existed. It was just word of mouth, though.
And for the world watching, can I say that 1 billion people use maps every day?
We have 2 billion users.
2 billion. Last data I got was 1 billion.
I would say it's a 2 billion users a month.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
तो जितने लोग देख रहे हैं, आप 2 बिलियन लोगों में से हो और हमारा देश नंबर 1 contributor है to maps usage.
About a fifth of our users come from India, actually. It's a
Whoa.
very big market.
Okay, so there is Gurugram, Motibag and Karolbag and Narayana to the left. Guys, this is crazy. I have not done this for a while. This camera installed on Mashable Mornings is purely to when I switch to maps and how good I'll feel because
Do you realize you're actually driving slower than normal?
Yes,
like
it's
because
true.
you're
My
not confident
confidence-
about where you're going without
that's
a map.
so true. Okay, I'm just going to go back new school and switch to having maps do the talking for us. I've learned newer things which I will start deploying now. Okay, I can just command this. Take me to Google HQ in Gurgaon. This must have been difficult, no? Getting like localized landmark based.
Fastest route despite slower than usual traffic.
Okay,
You should
Google,
reach your destination by
you can silence the sounds that give me alerts.
I've turned on Do Not Disturb to silence your alerts.
There you go.
Okay, they have not plugged this. I have done this myself. I was experimenting to see if it's possible, and it is totally possible. I think India was where landmark-based
Absolutely.
mapping was deployed first.
Absolutely. India was the first country where we brought in landmark-based navigation. And it was actually a way to localize for the way Indians get directions from, other people. We
Yeah.
talked about word of mouth. When you go ask a friend, how should I go there? He'll say, turn after this building, or you'll
Correct.
see the store and, you take a right there or something like that. Because the signs and the clarity of the signs didn't exist at that time. And so the only way to give directions was landmark-based navigation. So this was the first country where we actually started saying things like, turn after the EB tower. Or
Yeah.
turn after, this
This
particular
chalk.
government building or
Yeah.
something like that. Yeah.
It's nuts how we don't think, भाई देखो देसी लोग अपने को चौक से लेफ्ट लेने का है, लाल बत्ती से राइट हो जाना, यही समझता है, and that is just the way of life that we've known.
Exactly. So we had to mirror how people actually got directions those days. But it was actually a big exercise. But we actually had to curate these landmarks.
Yeah.
But now with the help of AI, we can auto-curate them from our
What
imagery.
does that mean? Please, now the geek is activated. तो मुझे ये बताओ कि ये क्या मतलब हुआ? Like AI is doing it by
So
itself?
now we're able to take something like Street View,
Okay.
and I think you've heard about our Street View cars going around mapping
Yes,
the roads,
yes.
right? With a camera on top.
I've seen those when I was traveling in the US.
Now they're here. They've been here for a couple of years or more. And we actually have, Street View coming onto auto rickshaws and two-wheelers because of how we have narrow roads in India.
Oh wait, so 1 second. So you're telling me that there's going to be a human being on a two-wheeler with a pole in the back and a 360-degree camera?
Possibly.
Wow.
Right? Because you do have narrow roads. We can't always send the cars everywhere. Right?
That's
but you
true.
want the roads mapped. But when you think about Street View, exactly what you see in this dash is what it's capturing. So we can actually say, if you're driving down here, you will see a particular building or an office, and then you take a right after that.
Correct.
So we're able to extract all of that information using AI applied on that imagery that we've captured.
But I'll tell you something that I think every 5-year-old also may have as a question. अभी हम लोग यहाँ पर एक मैप देख रहे हैं, आप लोग ऊपर के कैमरे से देख सकते हो. How does this get updated live? Like, what is happening? Is there cabs which are probably shooting up signals or apps being used, and hence the data is being collated?
Well, actually, the roads and the road network don't change every day.
Correct.
That's sort of static, right? So
Yes.
we actually use our satellite imagery, Street View imagery and all that and build all these tiles. So
Okay.
that is pre-composed, let's
Okay,
say.
okay.
But then you actually are seeing your route here and you're
Yeah.
seeing the route has a yellow color on it.
Correct.
That is a traffic update, right?
Yeah.
So we have signals, the GPS signals from all these cars, and we know where they're stagnating. We know where they're moving. We can also tell if they're moving at normal speed or less than normal speed, or if they're standstill, right? If it's standstill, you might see a red here,
Yeah.
right? And this is a slow traffic, you're seeing a yellow here. So that is getting updated almost every second.
That's so cool. And second thing that I need to quickly bring maps in is you telling me to take Flyover. Thank you for finally bringing that up and making it happen, because it was the biggest pain point of my life.
You know, every time I came to India, this is the one thing. The second thing was narrow roads and sending cars through narrow roads.
Yeah.
But the number one thing was, why can't you tell me I need to take a flyover? Because once you miss it, you have to go around.
Correct.
Right? And lose a lot of time. Very recently, I think it was last year, that we actually sent a lot of Street View cars, mapped all the flyovers, and gave the flyover alerts.
So tell me, Miriam, for the world, break it down. ये अभी तक क्यों नहीं था और इतना कठिन क्यों था इसको लाना? Why did it take so long and why was it so difficult?
To be honest, we had to bring the Street View operations into India.
Okay.
That took us a while. And we actually worked with, the government authorities, and geospatial policies had to be created.
Oh, you
before-
can't just, drop
Exactly.
navigatory
Yeah.
knowledge on a whim
Yes,
without
yeah.
being
So we're
liaising with the
very,
government.
very grateful to the government of India, and when the geospatial policies were authored in a way that allowed us to, work with local parties. Here's another thing: we're very big on local ecosystem.
Oh, really?
So we work with like Tech Mahindra. Tech Mahindra does all the Street View collection for us.
Wow,
So
that's so
anything
cool.
we do, knowing that we're a global company, we try to work with the local ecosystem to bring things to life. One of the other things we did very recently is we reactivated community contributions, like users like you. If you
Oh,
see,
I'm a local guide, guys. I'm on level 5. Are you a local guide, Miriam?
I'm a local guide level 7.
Oh, flex.
Yeah,
Guys, local guides, please let us know what local guide. It's a lot of work, yeah.
It is a lot of work, but people are passionate about it. The biggest, largest community of local guides is in India.
I mean, I didn't even have to guess. I almost always knew that we'll be on top
and
grade
there's
level.
lots of local guides, 8s, 9s, and 10s. I know we're at a humble 5 and 7.
Yeah.
But thank you for all your contributions. And that's what keeps these maps updated as well. You know, they have to help us update addresses.
And they're all
hours.
doing it for free.
For free, yeah, because they're passionate about it. You know, they tell us if there's an accident or a slowdown or a waterlogged road, you know, potholes on the road. We get a lot of these updates.
You know, for me as a Mumbaikar, I've always wondered how Ganesh Chaturthi procession routes are known to you.
Yes.
And how does that get updated? Like, are you talking to Mitra Mandals and the Ganpati guys? And where is this information coming from?
It is a combination. We've actually started working with a lot of city authorities, traffic police authorities, municipalities, even National Highway Authority of India. You know, we work, and you know, the Ministry of
Culture?
Roads and Transport.
Oh, crazy.
So we work with all of these authorities at the national and at the city level, and they give us information if there is, let's say, construction or, you know, a blockade on the road or things like that. Now, it's not uniform. It's not, you know, pan-India yet.
Yeah.
We have a few cities and a couple of highways going right now, but we're working with the authorities for more.
It's crazy.
Actually, I don't know if you know this. We have another app called Where's My Train, which is actually the #1 transit app, you know, in India. And even if you look at it globally in terms of usage, it's probably in the top 3.
Wait, what? I had a full question for you, which I thought was a difficult editorial bit, where I was like, oh, listen, M indicator in Mumbai wouldn't have existed if you all had figured local trains out for us in Bombay.
So we are actually working with Mumbai Local Trains. It's
Oh,
actually
really?
coming live.
Thank you.
So Where's My Train was this other app which is dedicated for long distance trains. You know, you don't want the noise of everything else. You just want to go in and say, I want to get to point A to point B. What's the train? What are the stops? Right? So very simple app, high usage.
And for this, you talk to Western Railway, Eastern Railway,
All the
Southern Railways.
you know, all the, you know, there's the central railways, there is, you know, the city specific things. We do all of that. But now we're starting to show buses as well.
Cool.
You know, and local trains as well. So it's an ongoing journey, let's say, because India is vast, complex. There's lots to do.
Congratulations. This is damn cool. Okay. What was the vibe in Intel and what was life at Intel like?
2000 to 2005, I was actually there till 2000 to 2014.
Oh, wow. 14. That's loyalty.
14 long years at Intel. Started as an engineering manager. And, you know, Intel was a very, what I would call in Bitzian terms, hallowed company.
Okay. What does that mean?
Meaning, like, you know, it was like, it's a very coveted kind of a job.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
It was, you know, one of the leading tech companies in the early 2000s. And, you know, this is where I was, you know, doing my engineering leadership roles. And then I made my career shift to go into what they call strategy planning and product management at the time. In the late, you know, 2010, 2012, mobile became a thing, right? You know, Apple came out with the iPhones, the Android phones were starting to come out. We were working on mobile chipsets at that time.
Oh, no, it's crazy. You've seen some really cool times across places.
Right. And this is probably going to be something that people will always laugh at. I got recruited into Amazon in early 2014.
Is this part of the Flex, folks? Please wait for it.
I actually didn't know. It was a secret project. I didn't know what they were recruiting me for.
Oh!
On day one, they were like, welcome to the Fire Phone team. You now own the Fire Phone.
Oh, really? This is interesting.
And, you know, I think everybody knows the story. You know, a few quarters later, we sunset the Fire Phone. But this was my, you know, best training ground for me. You know, a front row seat to learning how big companies take big bets, learn from it, and move on.
But this is such a big failure that you are exclaiming out on camera. That's really kudos to the endearing power that you all bring to the table.
Oh, totally. I mean, we looked at what can we learn from it.
But how do you make something intuitive, right? This is one of those marketing challenges that I'm sure your teams are facing and tackling on a daily basis. Because this is very intuitive. It's like brushing your teeth. It's intuitive. You woke up, you did it, and you move out. So how do you make this a product that everybody wants to use on a daily basis?
I think thankfully it's we've had maps for 20 years.
Yeah.
Right? So people have gotten used to this two-dimensional map. There's a lot of people who don't even remember paper maps. They've just grown with this, right?
That's true.
Yeah. And so, you're kind of familiar with the blue line on the map.
Correct.
And you're familiar with the directions that show up. If you're someone that uses the voice guidance, you actually, rely on it telling you when to take a turn.
Yeah.
Because you're focused on the road and you're not looking at the map. So people have different ways of adapting themselves to using this map. But I will say this, that the next generation of young people haven't always grown with a map like this.
Yeah.
And how they see the world and interact with the world is not exactly this way, right? So one of the things we've launched in the US and coming worldwide very soon, is immersive navigation.
Wait 1 second. The one where you can pick up your phone and see directions.
That is AR walking navigation.
Oh no, we're
If
not
you
getting
pick up
that
the
very
phone,
soon.
hopefully you're not picking up the phone when you're driving.
No, when I'm walking.
When you're
When I've
walking.
exited the subway and I don't know if I should take
Absolutely.
that road.
That is one of the futuristic ways of using the map, because you're seeing the world as you would see it.
Real time,
right?
yeah.
Real time. But immersive navigation comes very close to that for driving. Right?
Okay.
Because what you're seeing now is kind of like a paper map on a flat screen, right?
Correct.
What Immersive Nav does is it actually brings the buildings to life. It brings the greenery and the trees
Oh,
to
I love
life.
that.
And you can actually see the lane markings on the roads. You can see the traffic lights, the stop signs, or the, speed limits, and everything is getting picked up and so anytime you have to decide a fork, do
Yeah.
I go on the left side or the right side? It makes it explicitly clear. The camera will zoom in and tell you stay on this lane, things
That's
like
nice.
that.
Yeah.
So that is a little bit more of a real world map,
Yeah.
right? We're hoping that the next generation of our users will also get adapted to something that is more immersive and more real.
That will be really cool, because I sometimes wonder, aren't you all like a large monopoly in the game? Because who is your competitor? I wonder sometimes.
Well, you use an iPhone. Apple Maps is
Apple Maps is a big one. Yes.
Yeah, and there's a lot of local players as well.
Yeah.
They serve users' needs in different ways, and we also believe that choice is good for users.
Is that Map My India, something like that?
In India,
Yes,
not India,
yeah.
there are different players around the world. Users will choose whatever works for them.
That's so true. How do you tackle the gully problem in India? That's such a cool problem. I've always wondered, how do you...
You mean like the narrow roads and
Yeah. Like the scooter and my bikes.
Actually, very recently we started capturing road widths.
Okay.
So we are actually flagging narrow roads versus not
Larger
so narrow
roads.
roads.
Okay.
And that has also allowed us to separate two-wheeler routes from four-wheeler routes.
Wasn't it India first thing that went across the world
Absolutely. Two-wheelers was done for India first. Right? And then, we said, there's a lot of other countries that, benefit from two-wheeler
Yeah,
traffic. So it was absolutely innovation in India for India kind of a feature.
What else is a Google Map India first drop?
Offline maps was another one because of, the sporadic connectivity problems.
Oh, yes.
We have patchy connectivity. So offline maps was first done for India as well.
And where did you see adoption happen the most?
Mostly here.
Really?
Right. And then, but sometimes you don't even need to know. You don't need to consciously do it because you're mostly in the cities. But people who are going on long trips, either they proactively download a map of the region.
I have
Or-
Dubai, New York and Bombay
There you
right now.
go. There you go. Or, depending on what you're searching, we might temporarily download that for you as well.
Hey, thank you. This is intuitive. That is where the app is like, okay, we know where you're maybe heading, so we'll do this for you.
Yeah, you have to land there, and once you start using it, we might download it for you. So there's these are things where we, look at where the demand is, where is it most useful, and we do it that way.
That's beautiful.
Even off late, as I was saying, the narrow roads, flyovers, these are all India first features, and then we'll take it to other countries.
Thank you. I'm sure the Southeast Asian diaspora also really appreciates the
Absolutely.
scooters, and everybody who appreciates maps in different manners, please let us know your favorite features in the comments. None
And-
of this is paid.
And I would say we have the highest number of EV charging stations mapped in India for two-wheelers.
Okay, so please expand on that.
Yeah, we have, almost all of the partner systems integrated. So we get the feeds for where the two-wheeler charging stations are available.
Thank you.
Right? So you can actually just search where is a EV charging station nearby.
If OEMs manufacturing EVs, you'll have to work together, because this removes battery anxiety so much.
Absolutely. Yeah, we call it range anxiety.
Range
How far
anxiety,
can
yes.
I go and where can I charge? So, you now can find that information on maps.
Hey, thank you. Really, really helpful. How do you work around a special event like, there's the Rath Yatra that's coming in Odisha? So how would you map that road and how quickly does it adapt? Are these OTAs that happen? What happens there?
Well, even when we worked with the government on the Mahakumbh and all
Yes.
of that, we actually work with authorities. We work with government agencies. They tell us, what are the recommended routes, what are the closed roads, where are the different, information centers. So they actually help us, map it all out way ahead of time.
What are you talking? So thank you so much to the government and to tech companies working hand in hand. Little did we know that Google works so closely with the government to kind of make our lives easier.
Yeah.
Because during Kumbh, I know the Curly Tails team had gone, and the only way they could navigate is through bikes because it's so
Yeah.
crowded.
I always try to say, the world changes so rapidly every
Yeah,
second. You
yeah.
can't anticipate everything. But to the best of our ability, we work with the authorities to make sure we get as much information ahead of time. And we put it on the map. We sometimes even put alerts that train schedules have changed, routes have changed. We put those alerts up. So, we try to inform as best as we can, but conditions change real time a lot.
Wow. As a female leader, and I keep coming back to women
Yeah.
leadership, I don't need to be gendered in it, but just as a disclaimer, how difficult is it to navigate C-suite, or today we are in a different time altogether?
One thing I would say is you just have to show up with confidence and do your homework before you show up. If you know what you're talking about, if you have the data with you, I think you can make a very objective argument. You earn a seat at the table. You earn the credibility. You build the trust with your peers. I know all of this is easier said than
No,
done.
this is all gender agnostic, is why I was looking at the camera. This is boy, girl alike.
Yes, but a lot of times I think women try to doubt themselves. I would say, don't do that. You are where you are because you are great. You are where you are because you have accomplished things. And so, never doubt yourself. Move forward with high confidence. Get yourself mentors. That is something I tell
Yeah,
everyone.
where do you find mentors? Now there are apps for it also, right?
I always believe in organic relationships.
Yeah.
You can't just say, will you be my mentor? Right? Or assign a mentor. But this is why you have to put yourself out there, network, talk to people, try to meet new people every day, every week, every month. They can inspire your thought process, but you also start building relationships over time. They become great mentors. I have multiple mentors, different people I talk to in different situations. I don't go to the same person for everything.
That's so cool. Thank you so much for sharing. I think a lot of people will benefit from this. If you've learned new things, please let us know in the comments. Do not forget to hit like, share, comment, and subscribe. I'm going to do a few rapid fires with you. Just Google verify contributions.
Yes, we do.
Oh, thank you. What is my biggest, or what is your biggest flex about my data privacy? Because that's a big question that keeps coming up, right? So how much data of mine is used, not used? How safe are we?
Well, the first thing I would say is you're in control of your data. You can decide, what data you keep, how long you keep it. You're in control. All of that is, transparent in the settings. Second thing is your data is only used to personalize services for you.
Okay.
Okay. And anytime we do something in the aggregate, let's say we're giving you traffic information, that is all anonymized aggregated data. Right?
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Nobody can see, where the contribution came from. We just know all these cars are there on this road. So I would say, we value privacy. We work hard to earn the trust of users, and we try to be as transparent as possible about it.
Hey, so you're saying that Google doesn't even know if it's a SUV or a sedan or a hatchback
No.
yielding the data?
Now, when you're searching for routes, if you have a setting that says, I have an electric vehicle, we might actually optimize routes based on that.
Fair
right?
enough.
But that service for you is personalized for you, very different from aggregations where you see traffic data. That's all completely anonymous.
Fair enough. What is coming to India that's new and exciting for you?
Well, very recently we have launched Gemini Navigation.
Yes.
So I know, when you're driving, the cops do not want to see you with your finger or your hand on the phone. So please use voice. it is safer. Keep your eyes on the road and the hands on the wheel and drive
100%.
safely.
Thank you. I mean, that's very important. Please, भाई लोग, हम लोग गाड़ी चलाते चलाते एक Z फॉर्मेशन, A फॉर्मेशन में चलते हैं ताकि हमारे आगे और पीछे गाड़ियाँ होती है. हम लोग गूगल मैप्स यूज़ करते हैं निहत्ता बदतमीज़ होकर, आपको मैं बोल सकता हूँ सत्य. और एक्चुअली मैं काफ़ी ऑनेस्ट और अच्छा होकर आपको बोल सकता हूँ, निहत्ता बदतमीज़ क्यों. Thank you. How did you feel about this cool podcast that we just did?
Well, this is fantastic. It is a format that is very much, I think it's very new and innovative. And how can you do maps sitting in a room? We actually move
We're
around
on the street, yes.
out on the street. So it's a very immersive out on the street podcast. So I really appreciate you adapting the format for Google Maps.
Every time we cut in between and went back to our studio, folks, it was to show you what navigation looked back in time, what the career of Miriam here looked like back in time, and what maps has been like for me in my personal life. This is me, Siddhaarth Aalambayan, signing off on Mashable Mornings. Please subscribe to Mashable India. Know that like we do the Bombay journey, Mashable Mornings exists. And if you think we need to feature a CXO, a business leader, or an entrepreneur, please let us know in the comments. Bye.
Thank you for having us here.
Cheers.